Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Wilson, here with my good friend Adrian Wright, and this is
The Supernatural and Beyond.
Well, we've been talking about giants, the actual physical fee, fi, fo, fum giants, 9 to 12 feet tall or better. And there's a lot of, shall we say, scholarly work that goes into this. And there are a couple of terms that you're probably going to run into. And one of them is the word giant. That's sort of like the catch-all for anything that's tall.
Freakishly big.
Freakishly big. Another word is Nephilim. And then there's another one that's Rephaim. Now, they're used interchangeably depending on the language, depending on the setting, and so forth and so on. But we're all talking about these very tall individuals that are rather destructive on a lot of different levels.
Ooh, yeah.
So one of the questions that comes up out of this, that as we studied in the book of Enoch, is where do the evil spirits or the unclean spirits or the demonic spirits come from?
Demons.
Well, this is where they came from. After the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they bore them the giants or demigods. It goes into Greek mythology,
Right.
Roman mythology, and so forth and so on.
Egyptian mythology.
Half human, half angelic being, a demigod, or I should say half God. And what wound up happening because of what the Watchers did, the Creator said, that's it, you guys are done.
Done. Finished.
And we're going to get rid of all of these giants that are plaguing the land, because what the giants were doing, they were basically just taking over everything. Like if you're 15 feet, try that again. If you are 15 feet tall
Or larger.
and you weigh, I did some calculations.
I think some were like 320 or 500.
3,000.
What? Okay.
Yeah, 3,000 pounds. Or let's just say half of that.
Anyways, you're going to be hungry.
Yeah, you're going to be hungry, and you're going to be
Even
a bully.
1,000 pounds, yeah.
You're going to just do whatever it is you want to do, because who's going to stop you?
So these giants, they were big. They were a lot bigger than humans. Sometimes we kind of think like, you think of giants, you look at like Andre the Giant, which was a celebrity, a wrestler.
Runt.
Yeah, I don't think, like he may have been nicknamed the Giant because he's bigger than most humans, and we have some, large NBA players and stuff like that. But these were like giants. Like Tony makes a reference a lot about a power pole.
Power pole, yeah. Power pole's 35 feet tall.
Yeah.
Imagine a human being or being 35 feet tall, weighing 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, it's something like Hollywood movies make about, So
Speaking of movies, there was a movie that came out, Warcraft,
okay.
which was about, Ooh.
I'm gonna have to look up Warcraft, okay.
Okay. What winds up happening is these entities, their planet was dying, or their dimension was dying.
Okay.
So the evil wizard, opened a portal.
Okay.
And came to a Earth-like existence.
Kind of sounds like something like at CERN or something. But
Yeah, well, they've been opening portals since the Tower of Babel. It wasn't about like reaching up into heaven, actually building a physical structure. It was about opening a portal,
right,
so that these creatures could go back and forth. There are a lot of portals that are open now, and entities are coming back and forth.
What I wanted to bring up was in my research, I found that term meant the fallen ones, right?
Yes.
Because they were offsprings from those fallen watchers, and they were called the Nephilim or Nephilim. And then the other breed that you mentioned, the Rephaim, was like another breed. So these were actually a race of people that Joshua and David from other books after the flood they ran into.
Right. The giants actually kind of took over again. If you're 15 feet tall, weighing 1,000 pounds or more, who's going to mess with you?
Right.
Yeah, not too many people are. So getting back to the book of Enoch, I found the train of thought. So what wound up happening is that as these giants started to proliferate, more and more numerous, what wound up happening is they became more detestable. They became cannibals.
Yes, cannibals.
And so because they need a lot of calories, we as a average 6-footer need like about 1,200 calories.
Yeah.
Now imagine somebody 36 feet tall. I mean, do the math.
Right.
They got to eat a lot of cheeseburgers. They got to eat a lot of pizzas.
And they didn't have GMO back then either.
Yeah,
So they couldn't just make it in a lab.
Yeah, so they had to actually eat.
Yeah.
There are places, one place in particular, Rockwall, Texas.
Okay.
They found a cave.
All right.
Where there were human bones.
Okay.
In a cauldron. They were eating them. These were the giants. And to protect this information, they put a lake over it.
Okay.
And what's funny is when I was visiting Texas a few years ago, I remember this information and I drove right over that lake.
Oh, wow.
So even here in the state of, well, not here, but in the state of Texas.
I love Texas.
There were giants. There were giants found in Catalina Island, I should say on Catalina Island. So these beings were just widespread. And like you said earlier, the Smithsonian comes in, you find a giant bone, they come in and grab it and just tuck it away. And
let us see it. Where'd he go?
Yeah, and that's the end of that story. So with the offsprings, the giants, there was judgment brought upon the watchers and the giants.
Yes.
And the Creator said they are going to kill each other.
Right.
Much like Cain and Abel. And so what happens once those physical giants died, their spiritual entities were released into the world.
Right.
And these are the demons.
Yes.
Evil spirits.
Yes.
And unclean spirits that are inhabiting the earth today.
Right. And exactly what you're saying, Tony, is I think we touched on it briefly in other episodes, but just to clarify it and make it clear in this episode, when humans who were originally designed by God,
Designed by the Creator, yes.
Were mind, were body, and were spirit, right? So when we pass, when our flesh dies, we believe in the Messiah, absent from the body, present with the Lord, or you go to another destination, right?
Right.
Sheol, hell, whatever you want to call it, but you're destined heaven or hell. But these beings, because these fallen entities violated the covenant with God, violated the original directives, when they produced offspring, the giants, that was not in God's original creation, in his original design, and these fallen beings knew that. So when the giants passed, they also, mind, body, and spirit, their spirit is never allowed into the heavenly realm. So they were stuck on the earth. The fallen ones, the fallen watchers, celestial beings, fallen angels, whatever you want to call them, they were thrown out of the heavens and they were shut out. And they were always trying to get their power back. So we have these demons running the earth. You have fallen angels, you have demons. There's two races. They're related. But they've always hated mankind because of this, and they know they can't have heaven back, so they turn mankind on ourselves. These demons possess people. They make the human race fight because they believe if they can destroy the human race, the Creator, Yahweh, will just give them the earth. They're sadly mistaken. But that's their belief. That's why bad things happen. That's how people get demon possessed. And even Jesus talked about that. Jesus casted out demons. So if you're a believer and you don't believe in demons, you might want to go back and actually read the gospel and find those times in Mark and Matthew and Luke and John when Yeshua, the Messiah, walked the earth and casted out demons.
Yeah, there's one story that comes to mind, always liked it, where, as a matter of fact, we talked about it briefly, whereas there was a demon-possessed man
Yes.
that saw Yeshua, Jesus, afar off and ran to him and said, hey, have you come to punish us before the time?
The appointed time.
So there's an appointed time by which all of these things will be cleared up and cleared out for the new heaven and the new earth. But getting back to the story.
Yes.
Yeshua asked them, who are you? What's your name? And the demonic entity said, we are legion.
Yes.
For we are many. And a Roman legion generally consisted of 5,000 to 6,000 personnel.
Yeah.
Just so that you know. And the demons said to Yeshua, don't cast us out into the wilderness. Let us go into this herd of swine.
Yeah.
So Yeshua gave them permission. The herd of swine ran over and killed themselves.
Yeah.
Ran over the cliff and killed themselves.
Right.
Now, what this is showing me is that demons are real.
Right.
They want to occupy a physical form, whether it be animal or human.
And it talks about this in the Gospels, that they're cursed to wander the earth, and that they're stuck in the dry places until they find a body to occupy. And it's when the Messiah, when Yeshua, Jesus, is talking about the house, the strong man, binding the strong man and cleaning the house. Because if you cast out a demon from somebody who doesn't stay clean from Holy Spirit, 7 more will come back even stronger than the first.
So my point, and that was very, very good example. That's why it's very important to stay away from the dark side. Everybody wants to walk on the wild side until they get sucked in by the dark side. That includes witchcraft, New Age, magic,
sorcery.
Yeah, all of that kind of good stuff. You think that you control the entity when it's actually the other way around. Once they gain access to your particular spiritual house, they will ruin it. And it doesn't have to be like you become a drug addict, but there are times when I'm doing something completely and totally within what I'm supposed to be doing, and a thought will shoot through my head like, hey man, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
Demon.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
I won't go so far, for me, I won't go so far as to say that is a demon, but that is definitely a demonic force.
Yeah.
Trying to influence me.
And that's what happens is even the strongest believers, even those most full of the Holy Spirit, they still whisper those little lies to us, because we'll all be randomly thinking about something else, and then all of a sudden you get a negative thought or a bad thought in your mind, and it's not from you. And you're like, oh, why would I even think that? It wasn't you that thought it. It was like not inserted, but it was spoken in, whispered in to your subconscious by one of these entities trying to get you off path, trying to get you off track, trying to make you do stuff. And if you look at things that happen in this world that are real bad, we talked earlier about school shootings and stuff like that, offset, and this is another rabbit hole, but briefly, a lot of these people have in common that they were hearing voices that were telling them to do stuff. And this is demonic oppression of these people, and there are demons. They do have the human race, attack the human race, because it's part of their revenge for them turning on themselves and fighting themselves.
I want to throw in one more quick thing here. There's the story of Job. And the short version of it is Job was a righteous man, and he stayed away from evil. Now that's the evil one wants to come in and influence, like we've just been talking about. So one day, the sons of God, those that remain loyal to the Creator, came in to worship him, and also came in the adversary, or the devil, or Satan, a lot of different names. And Yahweh God Elohim said, have you considered Job? He's righteous and he stays away from evil. The adversary strikes a deal with the Creator and says, if you take away all the things that you have given him, he'll curse you to your face. So this is how it works. This is what's going on. And the last part of that story is the adversary asked the creator, could he do these things? And the creator said, you can only do this or that. Mm-hmm. So the dark side is obedient to the creator.
Yes. And just what you're bringing up, the dark side's obedient to the creator, and everything that happened with Job is, I want to remind some of our viewers, because you might be going through it, you might be in a bad season, but just like Job, don't turn against God. Realize that it's an attack of the enemy. Realize that it's a demonic assignment against you. And look at the last chapter of Job, chapter 42, because it's the best part of Job, because it talks about after Job went through all these troubles, he was blessed 7 times what he had originally had. And in the beginning, he was a wealthy man.
Wealthy.
He had a rich family life. He had wealth beyond measure. And then he was blessed 7 times more than all his trouble. But he prayed for his enemies, he prayed for his friends, and he believed in God, and he stuck to it. And that's what I want you to do is stick to the Messiah. Stick to him, believe in him, and trust him to bring you through that. And follow us here on the Supernatural and Beyond for more content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the bell notification so you know when our new episodes are coming out. And then we're also on Facebook, so follow us on Facebook at the Supernatural and Beyond, and also Instagram. And we'll see you next time.